Hello everyone, here we will see the notes of American scholar. This work written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Introduction. Ralph Waldo Emerson, 1803 to 1888, famous essay which has come to be regarded in Oliver Wendell Holmes's phrase as America's intellectual declaration of independence almost did not happen. Its occasion was the annual Pi Beta Kappa Society lecture at the Harvard College commencement on 31st August 1837, and Emerson was drafted to speak after the society's original choice, an Episcopalian minister named Jonathan Wainwright declined, the society probably looking for something more conservative. Here we will see about the author, Ralph Waldo Emerson, an American essayist, poet, and popular philosopher. Ralph Waldo Emerson began his career as a Unitarian minister in Boston, but achieved worldwide fame as a lecturer and the author of such essays as Self Reliance, History, The Oversoul, and Fate. Drawing on English and German Romanticism, Neoplatonism, Kantianism, and Hinduism, Emerson developed a metaphysics of process, an epistemology of moods, and an existentialist epic of self improvement. The American scholar. Man is thus metamorphosed into a thing, into many things. The planter who is man sent out into the field to gather food is seldom cheered by any idea of the true dignity of his ministry. He sees his bushel and his cart and nothing beyond and sinks into farmer instead of man in the farm. The tradesman scarcely ever gives an ideal worth to his work, but is ridden by the routine of his craft, and the soul is subject to dollars. The priest becomes a form, the attorney, a statute book, the mechanic, etc. In this distribution of functions, the scholar is the delegated intellect. In the right state, he is man thinking. In the degenerate state, when the victim of society, he tends to become a mere thinker, or still worse, the parrot of other men's thinking. In this view of him as man thinking, the theory of his office is contained. Him nature solicits with all her placid, all her monetary pictures. Him the past entrusts, him the future invites. Is not indeed every man a student, and do not all things exist for the student's behoof? And finally, is not the true scholar is a true master? Mind influences by nature. The first in time and the first is important upon the mind is that of nature. Every day, the sun and after sunset, night and her stars, ever the winds blow, ever the grass grows, every day men and women conversing, beholding and beholden. The scholar is he of all men whom this spectacle more engages. He must settle its value in its mind. What is nature to him? There he is never a beginning, there is never an end to the unexplicable continuity of this web of God, but always circular power returning into itself. Therein it resembles his own spirit, whose beginning, whose ending. He never can find so entire, so boundless, far too, as per splendor shine, system on system shooting like rays, upward, downward, without center, without circumference, in the mass and in the particle nature hastens to render account of herself to the mind. Classifications begins. To the young minds, everything is individual, stands by itself. By the by, it finds how to join two things and see in them one nature, then three, then 3,000, and so tyrannized by its own unifying instinct. It goes on trying things together, diminishing, animalizes, discovering roots, running underground, whereby contrary and remote thing cohere and flower, but out from stem. It presently learns that since the dawn of history, there has been a constant accumulation and classifying of facts. But what is classification? But the perceiving that these objects are not chaotic and are not foreign, but have a law which is always a law of human mind. The astronomer discovers that geometry, a pure abstraction of the human mind, is a measure of planetary motion. The chemist finds proportion and intelligible method throughout matter, and science is nothing but finding of analogy. Identify is the most remote parts, the most ambitious soul. It's down before each refractory fact. One after another reduces all strange constitution. Book. The great influences into the spirit of the scholar is a mind in the past in whatever from whether of literature, of art, of institution, that mind is inscribed. Books are the best type of influences of the past, and perhaps we shall get at the truth, learn the amount of this influence more conveniently by considering their value alone. The theory of book is noble. The scholar of the first age received into him the world around, brooded thereon, gave it to the new arrangement of his own mind, and uttered it again. It came into his life, it went out from him truth. It came to him business, it went out from him poverty. It came into his life, it went out from him truth. It came to him business, it went out from him poetry. It was dead fact. Now it is quick thought. It can stand and it can go. It now endures, it now flies, it now inspires preciously in proportion of the depth of mind from which is issued. So high does it soar, so long does it sink. Books are the best thing, well used, abused, among the worst. What is the right use? What is the one end? Which all means go to effect, therefore nothing but the inspire. One thing in the world of value is the active soul. On the other part, instead of being its own seer, let it receive from another mind its truth thought. It were intolerant of light, without periods of solitude, inquest, and self-recovery, and a fatal disservice is done. Genius is always sufficiently the enemy of genius by over influence. The literature of every nation bear me witness. The English dramatic poets have Shakespeareized now for 200 years. Undoubtedly, there is a right way of reading, so it be sternly subordinated man thinking must not be subdued by his instruments. Books are for the scholar's idle times. When he can read God directly, the hour is too precious to be wasted in other men's transcripts of their readings. But the intervals of darkness come, as come they must when the sun is hid and stars withdraw their shining. We repair to the lamps which were kindly by their ray to guide our steps to the east again, where the dawn is. We hear that we may speak. The Arabian proverb says, a pig tree looking on the pig tree becomes fruitful. It is remarkable the character of the pleasure we derive from the best books. They impress us with the conviction that one nature wrote and the same rates. We read the verses of one of the great English poets of Chaucer. Practical men. There goes in the world a notion that the scholar should be a recluse, a valedictorian, as unfit for any handiwork or public labor as a penknife or an axe. The so-called practical men sneer at speculative men as if because they speculate or see, they could do nothing. I have heard it said that the clergy, who are always more universally than any other class. The scholars of their day are addressed as women, that the rough, spontaneous conversation of men they do not hear, but only a mining and deluded speech. They are often virtually disfranchised, and indeed, there are devoted advocates for their celibacy. As far as this is true of the studies classes, it is not just and voice. Action is with the scholar subordinate, but it is essential. Without it, he is not at man. Without it, thought can never ripen into truth. Why whilst the world hangs before the eye as a cloud of beauty, we cannot even see its beauty. Inaction is covered eyes, but there can be no scholar without the heroic mind, the preamble of thought, the transition through which is passes from the unconscious to the conscious is action. The world, this shadow of the soul, or other me, lies wide around. If you like my explanation or notes of the same text, please don't forget to like and comment in the comment box. Also, subscribe my channel. Thank you.